Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayam udiraye nashtaprayasvameshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavad-gita shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. And Srila Prabhupada, the commentator. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Hare Krishna, good morning, devotees. We are devotees, whoever is here, and whoever is not here. We'll cover today from second canto, chapter 4, text 11, from the end of the chapter. I think it's 25 verses, relatively short chapter. Short for the, too short for the title. The title is Process of Creation. But this chapter, it's actually just covering the initial part of creation, which is Shukadeva Goswami processing what it takes to become a vessel, a conduit, what it takes to become an instrument. How many of you are tired of
being in the wrong place, in the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. And how many of you are aspiring to be in the right place, right time, and do the right thing? Of course, everybody wants to do that, but what does it take? What does it take? Because this is a conversation between somebody who's to die in 7 days. 7 days is like a unit of a week, which actually represents our whole life. Life is made of days, well, very, very teeny fractions of time. Lava matra is a moment, 11th of a second until they, so that small frame of time, all the way up to the lifespan of Brahma, which is 311 trillions, zillions. I can't, like, there comes a point that you just can't, I cannot grasp the length of, like, okay, whatever. Too long. Eternity. As much as we can imagine. Yeah. So, and our imaginations is limited. Anyway, so these 7 days, they represent pretty much the lifetime. That's how much is left. So in that whole conversation, somebody who's yet to die in 7 days, it's kind of a good circumstance because you know you have exactly 7 days. We are not guaranteed in 7 minutes. So, and that's why there's an urgency to hear. So what is it for the conversation to be proper? What is it what it takes? Not proper, but successful. But that kind of urgent conversation that carries the matter of life and death. What is the requirement to be successful? Okay, yeah, please.
The listener has to be listening and submissive.
Yes, a proper receiver. What else is required? And for this whole conversation to be successful. And in particular, yes, in particular, this chapter, the process, beginning of process creation, will cover the transmitter part. The speaker also has to be. It's not like, hey, ChatGPT, can you tell me what is the best thing to do? I have 7 days to live. It's not that kind of conversation. I mean, you can get information, you can get the data, you can process the data and information, but there's something else that happens in the heart, and only proper transmitter can illuminate what is happening. The heart can be touched only by another. Yes. So is this? Yes, yeah, that is the receiver part. That also is requirement for the transmitter as well, the humility, that the reflection of that. This is not to be a proper conduit to give, because on these kind of questions that Parikshit is crystal down in 7 days, you can answer in so many different ways. Just actually any question, take any question, you can answer in so many different ways. There's a gazillion ways to answer any question. But what would it take, again, to be in the right place, right, which they are, right place, right time, do the right thing to provide the right answer. Anybody besides present who is very eager? Yes. I kind of gave it away, but yeah.
But the answer I had in mind was Krishna's arrangement, because there's no other way.
Krishna's arrangement, and also for that transmitter to be a vessel, like a conduit, to provide a right answer. And sometimes you can add right answer provide provide it in the right way. Have you heard of that? Do the right thing in the right way. Same answer, you can have same exact answer, but when it's one is delivered in this way, in this mood, in this consciousness, and the other same answer is delivered in a different consciousness. So all these things will allow the process of creation. For Shukadev as a speaker, as a transmitter of Srimad Bhagavatam, to provide in a successful way, it will land in Purish's heart like what lands well, like an elegant swan lands in a clear lake. You can picture that in your mind. You see that swan is smooth. It will land well. It will land well in the person's heart. Who's eager. So this eagerness on the side of the receiver, and this connectivity or connection that the transmitter has, you can say the higher power of Krishna, who is the original Guru, Chaitanya Guru in the heart, will land well, will be a successful conversation. So we'll look into that. In particular, what is the mood of Shukadev, the speaker? What is he hoping for? Okay. Of course, this is part of another conversation between Sukha Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya, but nevertheless, it's the conversation of Shukadev. Who wants to start? Yeah, we'll go all the way to the end of the chapter.
Sukha Goswami said, Sukha Goswami was thus requested. Oh, Sukha Goswami said, that Shukadeva Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead. He then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly, he spoke thus.
Shukadeva Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who, for the creation of the material world, accepts the three modes of nature. He is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable.
Inconceivable. See, Shukadev is aware that there's a need for connection. There's a need to be in touch with something that's so vast, so the spirit, immeasurable. It's part of human sky, but the spiritual matters inconceivably infinite. Even one verse, so the whole Gita is beneficial, but probably even one verse of the Gita will give you the infinite, not just benefit, but infinite insight into the spiritual matters. It says not just one verse, one line. You heard of fractals? So it's like infinity any way you look at it. So spiritual matters are like that. Gita is like that. One line, he said one word, it will be a window to that infinity perspective if we approach it in the right way. So Shukadeva is calibrating himself and aligning himself with that inconceivably situated Supreme Personality of God. Text 13.
I offer my respectful obeisances on the form of complete existence and transcendence with the liberator of pious devotee from all distress and the destroyer of the further advances in the atheistic temperament of the non-devotee demons, or the transcendentalists who are situated in the topmost spiritual perfection. He grants their specific destinations.
Okay.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty and who is always a problem for the non-devotees. He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds. yet he enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky. There is no one equal to him because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable.
Again, go back, immeasurable. Again, it's pointing out to that we can't grasp it. Something that's immeasurable, inconceivable. Achintya, right? It's inconceivable. How can you grasp it fully? Another example is given that all the birds are flying in the sky, right? Some birds are flying this altitude, some like hummingbirds. The wingspan very, very interesting. 12 feet, just one wing. And then another one, maybe I'm wrong, but it's big wings. They're flying very, very high, very high. But no bird can actually make a claim that we can cover the entire sky. Why? The sky is vast. It's a vast sky. So as devotees of different capacities, we also fly different altitudes. But nobody. And that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. We can always be illuminated more. And by the mercy of Krishna, get a grasp on more than infinity. Fractal infinity, transcendental fractal infinity pi. And get full access to everything, although we are tiny, but that connection is powerful. The source is powerful. Okay, immeasurable. Transcendental. So Parikshit is again acknowledging. I'm sorry, Shukadeva Goswami as speaker is acknowledging that connection. Next.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances to the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer.
Well, what did that mean to you? Cleaning the sin, cleansing of the sins. What is the sin? Yes.
Hurt and defined as self-harmful behaviors and actions.
Something that is against the natural order of things, something that is destructive. So how would that cleanse? How would the glorification, remembrance, prayers, how would that cleanse one from the effects of destructive behavior? Have you thought about that? How's chanting Hare Krishna? Yes.
It's like a basic example, but
How's Bhagavatam class cleansing? How's the discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam cleansing?
it's giving us insight into things you don't usually think about. Most of the time, we're operating on very much so either thinking about the past or present, past or future decisions based on that. But when we're hearing these kinds of topics, it's relevant to all time aspects of the future. We're able to ground ourselves by a higher altitude.
Right? Yes. So, yeah.
It reminds us of the real identity. So, whatever else we're doing is just we're creating new identity for ourselves and identifying ourselves with the body and the mind and whatever relationship we have around us. But all these topics, it just is a reminder of our real identity. And then that's how all the other things, the identifications which are covered for our hearts, for our real self is anything.
Yeah, very nice point. And that it gives us the ability to pause. Say, wait a minute, there's something more here. Who am I? It gives us the ability to question.
Well, Krishna's absolutism is not pass on. Since he's purely good, he's absolutely good, but chanting Krishna's name or in Bhagavatam class, that's how it purifies that heart. It's not different from Krishna himself, he's absolutely good. It's one clean thing.
Being in touch with something pure, you'll purify. Like, can you do your laundry without water? No. What about just staring
Because right
at it? Dry cleaners, just put it in the air, so air can do it. Or let me ask you this, can you do your laundry with murky water? It's muddy. Yeah. You might get dirtier than you put it on, or muddier. So being in touch with something pure is a fact of that we are in touch with, right? So my grandmother, and probably your grandmother too, always warn you, be careful who you are with, right? Did you hear that from your grandmother? Careful who you are with. Why? Why did they say that? Huh?
You might become a devotee of Krishna.
This is why I invited him to. I always like that. Yes, we absorb the qualities. So tell me about who you are with, and I'll tell you all about you. It's just the nature of it. We're tiny, we're anu. So as a tiny entities, we're prone to what the touch the Shakti. We're marginal, Krishna's marginal. We're prone to be affected. We're prone to propaganda and marketing, we get affected by what we absorb through. Mark says 2 eyes, 1 eye, 1 eye, 2 ears. We're prone to be affected through the gates, through the gates of the city we live in. There's all kinds of intruders. They want to, and dacoits and robbers want to rob the punya, the good qualities. And also there's others who are bringing the goods, bring the upliftment and good nature. Okay? So we have to have checkpoints, checkpoints in our gates. What's coming in? Because everything that comes in here and comes out of here, well, the whole life, our whole destiny is defined by that.
Yeah, that reminds me a little bit about the sun. Even in water itself is pure. There's some murky water. But when that murky water comes in association with the sun, it's able to pull out the pure water and it stays behind. So when we chant this holy name, it's like we are water that's pure, just a little covered over. So by associating with the sun, we allow ourselves to be uplifted or elevated from that earth or transcend ultimately. And so, because the question was, how does Srimad Bhagavatam purify? Because Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam is an incarnation of Krishna. By associating with the pure sun, or associated with that purity, then we also get uplifted from that. Because right now we identify with the dirt. I am this, I am that. I'm so annoying, I'm so lazy, I'm so angry, I'm so this, all these things are the dirt that we identify as. However, there's a real I, because those are false eyes. There's a real I, which is I am part and parcel of Krishna. I'm actually pure at heart and just a little covered over. So this chanting of Hare Krishna or listening to Srimad Bhagavatam
you get remembrance of that, which is what Sukadeva Goswami did when he first started speaking. He just went immediately to remember who is the person who gives an ability to speak or to do anything. So where does it come from? So that remembrance, that's purification. That's something like that.
Yeah, so if you didn't know how holy name or Srimad Bhagavatam cleanses the effects of all the sins, now you know it, but of course you know it. Oh, great ones. So being in touch, being in touch. Okay, continuing. Few more verses. Who's?
Let me offer my respectful obeisances again and again unto the all auspicious Lord Sri Krishna. The highly intellectual simply by surrendering unto his lotus feet are relieved of all attachments to present and future existence, and without difficulty progress towards spiritual existence.
So nobody is included. Nobody is excluded, even the highly intellectual. Remember that comparison of a big turban? What is the use of a big turban? It doesn't bow down to the lotus feet of Krishna. I think it was Shyamala Kishore. And the ear becomes like an ear hole. Only snakes live in it. We don't hear the glorification. Remember that's a beautiful section. Yeah. One thing about intellectual prowess, it's something to keep on our head. It's like a big turban. And considering that we're all trying to swim, to survive and swim, swimming is rather ridiculous in a big ocean in the distance. No matter how good swimmer you are, you need safe boat. So turban is like this mundane knowledge. It just helps you struggle more or sing better in this ocean. So unless we offer our respectful obeisances, so when you offer respectful obeisances, the turban becomes your offering. Krishna lives and Samadartha, the swift deliverer of the ocean into existence. Swift deliverer. As soon as we offer, as soon as we connect, yoga, connection, we feel relief. And consequently, if we don't feel the relief, we feel distress. We run to Krishna. We run to Krishna, we run for shelter. Not in an opposite direction. Makes things worse. We run towards Krishna. In LA, is my favorite example. When Prabhupada was walking Venice Beach, he was going with his disciples with his cane, walking very swiftly. Hard to follow, catch up with Prabhupada. Walking very swiftly. He stopped and said, just see, these crabs were there. Just walking sideways, running to the ocean. Prabhupada said, just see, even the crabs, they understand. Big crabs, man is something huge and very threatening. It's a big man. A lot of big men are coming. Let us take shelter of the ocean. This ocean is greater, so it's natural that something small in a time of threat is taking shelter of something greater. What is greater than the ocean? Nothing. 80% coverage. So naturally, we are seeking shelter. The Maya illusion is not to understand what is the ultimate shelter. That's one of the definitions of illusion. To fail to understand what is the greatest shelter, the ultimate shelter. And that is what Shukadeva is connecting throughout the whole chapter. The ocean of mercy. Shri Krishna. Okay, who's next? Who's Prabhuji? Sure. Please. What is it? 17?
Hello.
Hello.
Hare Krishna. Let me offer my respectful obedience unto the all auspicious Lord Sri Krishna again and again. Because the great learned sages, the great performance of the charity, the great workers of the distinction, the great philosophers and the mystics, the great chanters of Vedic art, and the great followers of the Vedic principles cannot achieve any fruitful results without the dedication of such great qualities to the service of the Lord.
And this is the verse from yesterday. Kirata Unandra Pulinda Pukasha Dhira Samba Yavana, members of Hamsa races, even others, addicted to simple acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the devotee of the Lord, due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Okay, 19. He is the super soul, and whoever is next ready, chime in. Who is the super soul and the supreme lord of all self-realized souls. He is the personification of the Vedas, religious scriptures, and austerities. He is worshipped by the Lord Brahma and Shiva and all those who are transcendental to all pretensions. Being so revered with awe and veneration, may that supreme absolute be pleased with me. So this is like a stuff of prayer. The whole chapter is like a prayer to Antaryami, super soul. Again, Shukadev. Yes, honey? Anybody? Yes. Go, go, go.
My Lord Sri Krishna, who is the worshipful, Lord of all the ways, the protector and Lord of all the kings like Advaita, Advaita, and Vishnu, the Yadu dynasty, the husband of all goddesses of fortune, the director of all sacrifices, and therefore the leader of all living entities, the controller of all intelligence, the proprietor of all planets, spiritual and material, and the supreme incarnation on the earth, the supreme all in all, merciful upon you.
Do you feel the plea? Do you feel like how he is really earnestly trying to connect with Krishna? Before he even speaks. We say that. We recognize our position and we offer respect. We offer prayer. Go ahead, Francis.
Personality of God and Sri Krishna gives liberation by thinking of his lotus feet at every second, following in the footsteps of authorities. The devotee in trance can see the absolute truth. The learned mental speculators, however, think of him according to their whims. May the Lord be pleased with me.
Next. A few more.
May the Lord who is in the beginning of the creation, who in the beginning of the creation, simplified the perfect knowledge of Brahma within his heart, inspired him with full knowledge of creation of his own self, and he appeared to be generated from the powerful form of his wisdom.
His supreme personality plasma, who enlivens the material bodies of the elements by lying down in the universe, and who is in his Purusha information, causes the living being to be subjected to the 16 divisions of material modes, which are his generated. He is the decorations.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Vyasadi, incarnation of Vasudeva, who has compiled the Vedic scriptures, who is picked up and carrying essential knowledge, dropping from the lotus like fountain.
Yes, he remember his father. Guru. Yes, and the last verse.
My dear King Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narada, exactly appraised him on the subject, as it had been directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who is impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth.
So not just his guru, but his entire parampara, because he's part of this lineage. Srila Goswami is not just like self-proclaimed enlightened being, but it's part of the lineage, so he's remembering that it's just a, a teeny part of this greater tree of knowledge. Okay, and we're going to do 11. Sutavacha Ityupana Tritoratna Unanu Katane Rishikesha Manusmitya Rati Bhaktum Prachakrame. Sutavacha Ityupana Tritoratna Gunanukatane Hare Rishikesha Manusmitya Rati Bhaktum Prachakrame.
Sutavacha Gunanukatan Atane Hare Rishikesha Manusmritya Rati Bhattum Prachakrame.
Word by word. All together. Sutta Vacha, Sutta Goswami said, Iti thus, Upanamrita, being requested, to describe the transcendental attributes of the Lord. Hare, the persons of Godhead, Rishikesha, the master of these senses, Anusya, properly remembering, Pratilakam, the just reply, Prachakrame, executed the preliminary duties. Sutta Goswami said, when Shukadeva Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of God, he then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly, he spoke thus. Purport: the devotees of the Lord, while delivering speeches and describing the transcendent attributes of the Lord, do not think that they can do anything independently. No. We spoke about that. Urgency to connect. They think before we open them up. We say, we remember the senses of the individual being are not his own. The devotee knows that such senses belong to the Supreme Lord and that they can be properly used when they are employed for the service of the Lord. The senses are instruments, and elements are ingredients, all endowed by the Lord. Therefore, whatever an individual can do, speak, see, etc., is under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 15:15 confirms this. Sarva chaham hiri sanivishto matas nitya jnana apokaramcha. No one is free to act freely and independently, and as such, one should always seek the permission of the Lord to act, eat, or speak. And by the blessings of the Lord, everything done by a devotee is beyond the principle of the four defects typical of the conditioned soul. This apparently this 15:15 is most quoted verse. That from Krishna comes the remembrance, forgetfulness, all the knowledge comes from him. You want to remember something, and Krishna doesn't want you to remember. Can you remember? You want to forget something, and Krishna doesn't want you to forget. It's gonna bother you. Like if I didn't show up on it, I told her this morning, I'll probably be bothered for the rest of my life because I won't remember. breath. Shishigonitai ki.
Yeah.
So become an instrument, to become an instrument of Krishna, that is our goal, become a conduit, a vessel. That is what we want. That is why we chant Hare Krishna. Not just before we speak Srimad Bhagavatam, before we speak at all. Before we do anything, we try to be in that mood, be in that consciousness. Oh, I just want to be an instrument. Please utilize me as your instrument, Krishna. So we want to be like flute. Flute is straight. Okay. Sometimes it's those curved flutes like that. But trombone is a horn.
French horn.
A French horn, yeah, they're like little curvy. But flute is usually straight, and it's like this. It's like good character. And also, flute is hollow. It's an instrument. So we also, like flute, have to empty ourselves. And also, flute has how many notes? Sometimes 5, sometimes 7, sometimes different holes. And there are nuts. There are nuts in that bamboo, where the holes are made. And those holes are 6 enemies in the heart. Without being free from those, it will be very difficult for Krishna to play a nice melodies. So what are those? 6 enemies of the heart.
Anger.
Here we go.
Three.
Loss, greed, pride.
Pride. It comes there.
Greed. Envy.
Envy. Illusion and madness. So kama, krodha, lobha, matsaya, moha, and mada, madness. So kama, lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion. These are the 6 enemies of the heart that we as devotees we're trying really hard to take a closer look and rid ourselves from those by the power of devotional service, by rendering service to Krishna, not just Krishna, but Krishna's devotees. The way we approach devotees also. And very angry, or you can be prideful. So that's why humility or pride is something that will be in the way to become a vessel, become an instrument like food. Surya was pointing out. Without humility, it will be very difficult for Krishna to play nice melodies. And who taught us humility? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How? How he taught us. What did he say in the verse you picked this morning? Tell us more.
Yeah. Once we're humble, once we can tolerate and respect others and not expect admiration, respect back, then we can chant. Forever.
Constantly. What is humility? How does the humility looks to you? To all of you. How does humility look like? Does it look like? Yes.
We being able to listen when someone is giving you constructive criticism.
Okay. Ability to hear others. Yeah, this is one of this essential, so important. Or we can be defensive about it, we can be in denial. And that will block the mercy. Yes. Time of Simha.
Talking about humility last night with Anthony. I think it means like having a high level of acceptance. And we were talking about how like if you're in like a debate with somebody or an argument with somebody, humility always wins. and like can't be defeated. If you're just like, oh, you know what, you're right, I had no idea. Well, how can you know, trump that? So I think it's maybe one of the highest mindsets to have, and like what we're talking about, the type of mindset that can help you be able to actually learn and understand too.
Yeah, yes. Kunti G.
One way that I see it is when people have a genuine desire to serve others, because I think that service is often comes with ulterior motives. But there are people out there that I've seen that generally serve because they want to serve other people, and I think that that shows humility.
I also heard, one way that we can practice humility, I don't know if you guess the definition of humility, but I just maybe taking another step is not to think less of yourself, but to think of yourself a little less.
Humility is not the absence of confidence. You can be humble and confident that Krishna is there, like Shukadeva Goswami is in the light of the whole chapter, humility, what Shukadeva is expressing is his dependence. Humility is this utter dependence on Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Unless we genuinely feel that how dependent we are. Always remain like which is obstructing the flow of mercy. And everything in the modern world is like designed that way. To make you feel independent. We don't feel dependent on the sun and the rain because we have a Publix right across the street. Who cares if it's going to rain or not for our crops? So many ways we're taking things for granted. So that much more there's a need to reflect on the ways we depend, which is our true situation. Yes.
I think another ingredient of all of these beautiful things that the poets are saying, I think another element is appreciation and gratitude, to hold that in your heart. It's very humbling to witness, to appreciate strangers, take themselves as individuals.
Ability to appreciate others. From Mahabharata, we hear the story how Achayra has sent both Yudhishthira and Duryodhana to find different tasks. He sent Yudhishthira to say, find somebody who's lesser than you. And he sent Duryodhana to find somebody who's better than you. They both came with the same report. I've not found anybody. Which, showed the nature of their character. One's prideful,
Let me just share, but in this point here, this is what Sukadeva Goswami is doing. Or he speaks, it's just remembering those personalities, like remembering the position. Who am I? These people that carried me through this. Yeah.
always remember that we are made of mercy. Otherwise, if we turn against those who have made us, we turn against God. What is the story? Punar Mushikava. You again become a mouse. Right? You know the story? There was a mouse. He was chased by the cat. There was a yogi in a village He said, "Oh, dear Yogi Ji, please make me a cat. This cat is chasing me, make me a cat." Tatastu. So be it. Poof, he became a cat. 2 days later, his cat is run by a dog, chased by a dog. "Oh, Yogi Ji, this dog is chasing me. You make me a dog." Tatastu. Become a dog. Dog. Now, a few days later, dog is walking. Now the tiger is coming. Oh, now the tiger is chasing a dog, always a trouble. And he ran, the dog ran to the yogi. He said, "Yo, Yogi, this tiger is coming. Please make me a tiger." So Yogi said, "Oh, you want to be, okay. You become a tiger." Now tiger is standing, he's looking at the yogi. This little mouse is now a tiger looking at the yogi. He's growing, he's looking. So Yogi said, "Oh, you want to eat me now? You want to eat me? Puna mushikaba." Again, become a mouse. So atheists, or those who are like less fortunate ones who forget about the gratitude, forget about the mercy that we have received, and we turn against, we bite the hand that feeds us. We become a mouse. We lose those assets. The body is very diligent, very, very careful. That way. We thank Kartikeya Prabhu for joining in. I really hope, yeah. I hope he speaks one of these coming up days on himself. Justice in terms of coverage. Yes, we can return the favor. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Nandara Srila Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaja